All right, here we are. We're live now. This is the Empire Comics Lab live stream. This is like we tried one like it's probably a couple years ago that we tried this, but we're this is just editors right now. Hopefully, we'll have our editor in chief, business manager coming in soon. I am Josh or Cynical Stew. Then we have Dan. If you want to
Hi,
introduce
everybody.
yourself.
Hi, my name is Dan Johnson. I'm the head writer and editor of Cemetery Plots, and also the head writer and editor for Golden Kid Comics, which is one of the brands that have come on board with Empire Comics Lab, all ages comics.
Awesome. And then Jen, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, I am the assistant editor for whoever needs assistance around here. Yep.
So yeah, and I do Cynical Stew and editing, just again also kind of just for whatever needs to be done as well. And then I've also been working on the Punch Face Lullabies, which has kind of been in a limbo for a little bit, but hopefully we'll make some progress on that. And so one of the things I was hoping to do today is kind of we've been recently we had some stuff kind of in the works, things going, new stuff kind of popping up and going on. So Dan, I know the Golden Kid things, you've had a lot of stuff going on, and I know you had a post out today too. There's like a contest you have going on, so I thought that would definitely be a good thing for you to talk about. So if you want, I'll turn it over to you real quick if you want to kind of update everybody about that.
Sure.
Dan.
Thank you. I do want to say Jenny undersells herself considerably. She's like my right hand woman. Without her, Empire Comics Lab and Golden Kid would not be as good as they are. Honestly, she's the reason why we shine so bright.
Thank you. All right.
Anyway, Golden Kid Comics. What we're doing right now is June 7th is going to mark the second year that Golden Kid Comics came into creation. We first announced the company publicly. And what we're doing is that our next book we have in the pipeline is Funny Bone's Funnies. Funny Bone is our clown character. He is the grandson of a notorious gangster that was very ruthless, very vile, and very, very, very evil. And he is basically trying to redeem the family name by becoming a crime fighter. We call him the Manhunter of Mirth, comedic crime fighter. And his very first book, Funny Bones Funnies #1, will be coming out very shortly. We have some wonderful artwork in there by Brian Wingrove, and we also have some of Funny Bones' favorite jokes. So if you have a kid that loves dad jokes that are aimed at like 3rd and 4th graders, this is going to be the book for them. They're going to love this. But anyway, leading up to this, we have been sharing our Sunday Fun Day page, which is basically where we give people a glimpse of what we've got in the works. We do it every Sunday, but we're going to be running one a day. It's our Encore Classics. And we're also doing some updates on projects that we have coming up. And if people will share those on Facebook with us, we will put them in the running for a special Funny Bone sketch that Brian has done. You'll be able to win the sketch, and 3 second-place winners will win digital copies of the first book when it becomes available. And like I said, that's on Facebook. All you have to do is share it with on your Facebook page. Share it on your friends' Facebook page. If you have friends that love superheroes, that have kids that love comic books, share it with them. Share them in your group pages. Any place you think you can get us an audience, we'd love to share it. We want to spread the love.
Real quick, because this is a good time to bring it up because I haven't talked to you about it. Because I tweeted it out. I tweeted out the message, the whole the thing. I broke it down into a thread. So nobody's shared it, but so if people share it on Twitter, do you want me to add them onto it as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Also, if you join our Patreon, we will put you in the running for this as well.
Yeah, that's a good thing to plug. I'll make sure. I don't have it in there right now, but I'll make sure afterwards that I put on all those links to the Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and all that stuff into the description, so people have all that access to everything. But if you just search Empire Comics Lab into Patreon or Facebook, you'll be able to find us. We're the only ones out there. We're pretty easy to find.
We are.
Yeah. So,
But like I said, we're excited about everything we've got coming up with Golden Kid. We're super excited about everything. Also in the works, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Cemetery Plots #4, which will be coming out very soon. I was gonna tell the viewers, no, I'm not trying out a Halloween costume. This is basically me at the end of the day being in quarantine. Like a lot of folks, we've had in the past, we've had a lot of artists and writers we wanted to work with, and they always come back and they say, "Well, we'd love to do it, but I'm working on this or I'm working on that." Quarantine has been very good to us because all these guys are going stir crazy, and all of a sudden they're coming to us and saying, "Hey, can I do a story for you? Have you got something for me?" So we have not only gotten a jump on #4, we also are getting a jump on issue #5, which I am very excited about. And we have some great stories coming up. Issue #4 is going to feature a story by a good buddy of mine, Brian K. Morris. And we're very excited that Stephen Casper, Steve was the guy who was the co-creator of D.O. Man along with me. He did the original designs for D.O. Man. He is coming back to do a very special story for us, which we think is going to be our most controversial yet. And it's not that we're stirring the pot for controversy. It's just when
you're doing horror, it happens.
Yeah. We don't want to look for controversy.
Yeah.
But no, we had a huge debate about this in the editorial department and everything. But it's one of those stories that I think is going to be important. It's one of those stories I think people are going to be talking about, and it's one of those ones we want people to see and start thinking to themselves, and it makes people think. Yeah. Hopefully that's going to be the case. I'm sorry to be jerky. I've got this on my knee. So.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, yeah, I think it'll be great. So, Cemetery Plots.
I just want Dan to hold a flashlight under his chin. Wow.
I may have one around here actually. I need to find one.
It'll be good, especially when he's talking about Cemetery Plots. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Cemetery Plots 1 through 3 has been like so well received by everybody. Everybody who's ever read it, they've always been really well received. It'll be exciting to see what happens with #4 and especially #5 as they keep coming out.
Yeah.
Actually, we got a very nice fan letter. I know Jenny saw it. Did you, Josh? Have you?
You forwarded it to me. Yeah.
If you want, I can actually share part of that with the audience if they'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think this is the perfect time for that.
Hang on one second. Let me find it. I don't know if can you guys still see me?
Yep. While you're doing that, I got my laptop's not plugged in, so you go ahead. Just don't mind me.
We're listening.
We'll just take a moment while I bring this up here, but I got this email. For folks who don't know, besides Empire Comics Lab and also besides Golden Kid, I also work in the comics industry. I've been a writer with the Dennis the Menace comic strip since 2005, and just recently started working on the Mark Trail comic strip. And I get a chance to meet some very nice folks in the comics industry. And this is a letter I got from a friend of mine. I sent complimentary copies of #1 and 3 to. Hi, Dan. I wanted to write and tell you how much I have enjoyed reading the first volume of your horror stories. I'm doing it slowly to enjoy each story separately, plus spread it out so the reading will last longer. I think this first book is really good, really accomplished. Chomp, turning into a zombie, is really different. I like the way his speech turned to grunts and screeches as he became more and more a zombie.
Wait, does this contain spoilers?
No, not really. I don't think so.
Okay.
I hope not.
All right, proceed.
I like the contrast of hearing his thoughts. I'll try to hold off on spoilers. Let's see. Ed Games had a really fantastic art, which we did. We had some great artwork by Gary O'Donnell on that one and Barbara Casper. Superior Writing, that was one of mine, but I didn't pay him for that. That was voluntary. Like to use black to start color, yada, yada, yada. Three-Way, which is our most controversial story to date, is a seriously sick story. Congrats. Again, Faithful had a terrific-looking werewolf creature, very explosive art conception. Rest in Pieces, title says it all kinds of disgusting, really.
Nice.
Dead Man's Warning, Larry Underwood's narrative was equally compelling. And the Dr. Frank and Higgins is a very nice little comedy. Poor Higgins does all the heavy work and selling half his anime collection. It almost seems to be a couple. They almost seem to be a couple. All in all, I enjoyed every single story there. This volume. I'll move to the second volume when I have the time to really read it thoroughly, solely, so I can enjoy it. I don't want to rush through it. I think it's very good collaborative effort, and you all should be commended. It's very good. Thanks, Ray Billingsley, the artist and creator of the Curtis comic strip.
Nice.
Curtis.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is
awesome.
amazing.
That's great.
So we're excited about it.
You did a great job, Dan, pulling all that together. Amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know Ray and we became Facebook friends, and I saw where he was a fan of Swinguli. And I asked, well, if you're a horror fan, why don't I send you some comics? And basically, we just kind of send them out every now and then, and we get lucky because, like I said, we'll get some very nice compliments. Our second issue has a great story by Roger McKenzie, who worked on Daredevil and Captain America.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just because we sent him a complimentary copy of #1, and he came back and said, would you guys like a story? And we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Twist my arm. Twist my arm.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're excited. We've got a lot of really good stuff coming up with Empire Comics Lab and Golden Kid, and I think people are going to be really excited with what they see. I know right now there's a lot of folks that think the comic industry is in doubt with everything that's been going on with Diamond Distribution and everything, and with the comic book shop. And I've told people, as long as we are going to be around, we're going to keep making comic books. We'll find a way to get them in the stores. We'll find a way to get them in conventions or get them in the hands of people.
Yep.
It's kind of a changing market right now, and no one really knows what the future is going to be holding. We were talking about conventions, and I know most of my cons have been canceled for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's one thing that's definitely just, who knows what's the future's gonna be for that right now.
Yeah.
But we have to stay positive. That's the key thing.
Yeah. I mean, keep adapting.
We got to stay positive, and we got to just keep moving forward and keep looking for new avenues, looking for new ways to get the product out there, and keep making new fans. And that's the one thing we keep doing it for, the fans, the people who see us at the shows or see the books, and folks like Ray who take the time to write us and just let us know how much I've enjoyed the work. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know as a parent, I really noticed how difficult it was to find good comics for my kids when they were younger. So I really appreciate Golden Kid.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is something, it was hard to find good age-appropriate, like, all-ages comics, because a lot of them were just, I don't know, there's a lot of kind of, like, all-ages kids, like, they're supposed to be all-ages comics, but they were just not great, they were just really dumb. So stuff like that is nice to have, like actually quality, like, kids comics are really nice to have out there.
Yeah, no, with a well thought out storyline.
Yeah.
Because the kids
that kids can actually enjoy.
Age appropriateness of a young kid, but a kid who still can tell that there's no story. If there's no story, you need a well thought out dialogue and plots, and so that's what you're giving us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Well,
for sure.
I always tell people, kids are a lot smarter than people give them credit for being.
Exactly.
And I always look at it this way. When writing the comics, I always look back at, like, the Silver Age and the Golden Age books, where the stories could be written, where kids could appreciate them, but adults could read them as well.
Right.
I always, the gold standard I always set is the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko Spider-Man comics. People who know me know I'm a DC boy. I've been one since I was a kid, but I will admit the Lee Ditko Spider-Mans are probably the best comics that have ever been created. They hit the right note of being an adventure series that adults can enjoy, but something that kids can read and get inspiration from.
Yeah.
Yep. It's hard to do. But it's a great standard.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's kind of hard writing a story that kids gonna like and an adult's gonna like as well. But it's a personal challenge. But I've seen some of the kids' comics that are out there, and some of them are not bad, but some of them can be a little dumbed down.
Nonsensical?
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of
just-
dumbed down for the kids, and
Yeah.
it always broke my heart when it got to a point where I had to look to a Superman or a Spider-Man comic book before giving it to kids that I know to say, well, is this appropriate for them? Can they be allowed? Can they read this without traumatizing them?
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's something because like that's one of the things I was talking about when I look at like all ages comics because there it was hard to find a good middle ground because like there's like just regular comics but they would be too advanced for kids, but then like where the kids comics were just kind of too stupid. Like they were just dumb. Like I don't know, it wasn't something kids would really enjoy because it was just kind of like they were just throwing colors and images onto paper and being like, kids will enjoy it. But I'm like, you're kind of underestimating kids because like I think of my daughter Zoe. She's 9 now, but I mean when she was 6, like some of the stories I was reading her, like we were reading like some like complex stories I would read to her, and she would really be invested in them and want to read them again. Like not picture stories either, just like book, like and like she would really like them. And I kind of think that it's like kids. I think some writers kind of underestimate kids that you don't need to just kind of throw colors and images on the paper. Like you can actually write a good story and they'll appreciate it.
the
Yeah.
the key thing you got to do is you got to get a story that's going to entertain kids, get them hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
this is one thing I've told people for years now. This is the one thing I never understood DC and Marvel's marketing about not wanting to go for the kid audience. And I chalk it up, unfortunately, to guys that are my age that get into comics and they're trying to prove comic books aren't for kids anymore. And
Oh, that's sad.
they mistake the idea of having a lot of violence, a lot of sex, a lot of profanity as being adult, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Shaggy, Andy.
Hey, what's
See,
up?
look, Jen, you don't have to be
Oh,
ashamed of
God.
eating. Shaggy's just going for it.
Yeah, I totally blew it. I'm over here eating off camera. Oh my goodness.
All right.
What do you-
This is our business manager, Shaggy, for everybody watching. He's just kind of. What are you eating? That looks like a wrap or a.
It's from Mitchell's. It's a Southwest. I don't know. I don't know. It's a Mitchie wrap. Anyway, it's basically a taco.
Looks good. Like nice breezy day there, Shaggy.
It's not really breezy. I'm
No?
just sitting on the back porch, and it kind of creates a little wind circle
Wind
area.
tunnel there.
Yeah, but
Andy, I think I know what it is. And social distancing. Stay away from the guys who are breaking wind after having their own tacos. That's not a good thing, man.
Oh my god.
By the way, for the people watching, if you guys want to like comment on anything, or just ask questions or something, feel free to type into the chat. I have the chat up, so if you want us to like answer any questions or just comment on anything, you're more than welcome to. I'll make sure that we respond to it. But if you were wondering like where we were at currently, we were kind of talking about the state of children's material like comics and such.
the lack thereof.
Yeah.
I was just saying that
Exactly.
Marvel is making a huge mistake by bypassing that entire audience.
Yeah.
You now I know you guys, Jenny and Shaggy have heard my the way I describe it as being like you got to take the approach of being like a drug dealer and basically.
Sorry,
Train
train.
Shaggy.
That's all right. Train's body. This is live, people. This is what you get when you tune in. Movers like this.
This is real life.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? We're online now.
So again, but I do want to say though, like for the audience, so like, because I am curious for the people watching now, like if you guys have kind of like what's your take on the whole kind of lack of kids content? Do you think there's a lack of it? Do you wish there was more? Because I'm curious of the people watching, if you have kids or if you wish there was more, or if you've been able to find like a good amount of kids content, comic wise. Because that is something that like I do hear it from other people that like comic for kids wise, there's just not a lot out there. But I am curious, Dan, for what you were saying.
It's I get some laughs when I say this, but it's very true. Marvel and DC, they have to take notes from your friendly neighborhood drug pusher. You get the kids when they're young. Get them on comic books when they're like 7, 8 years old, and then what you do is you move them up to the heavy stuff. You get them on stuff like
Yeah.
Superman comics, Donald Duck. Then you move them up to Watchmen. You move up to Will Eisner, and ideally from there you promote literacy by saying, okay, now these blew your mind. How about some short stories by Ray Bradbury? Or how about a novella by Harlan Ellison? Or, hey, we got this thing called Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov. I always tell people, I'm not going to be happy until every kid in America right now. Now, how old is your daughter? Josh.
Zoe's 9. She'll be 10 in August.
I'm not going to be happy until every kid your child's age is 102 on their deathbed and cursing they only got to read War and Peace twice. And that is what I think you can do with really good comic books that are aimed at kids. You get kids.
Yeah.
It's a gateway drug to literacy.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like Zoe loves. She adores reading. She loves she reads so much. And that's what's great too, though, is I mean, like she reads, she finds graphic novels, like kids graphic novels. I don't know where she finds it. Like she finds them in her library and stuff, but they're just they're out there. There's some stuff out there, but they're hard to find. They're not like comics, but there's some of these like kind of collect like just full size graphic novels out there, like kind of. But But here's the thing too, is she's always reading kind of above her age level too. So it's like not really targeted towards her age. So she is reading above her age level. So she's reading these graphic novels that's kind of above her age range. But yeah, that's kind of stuff she loves to go and get these like big graphic novels kind of more aimed at like tweens, I guess. But she loves that stuff. She likes it a lot. It's some of her favorite stuff to read. And she just zooms through it. She flies through that stuff. She loves reading.
Well, I remember being 8 years old, and we had to write an assignment, describe your room, and I described it as my fortress of solitude. And the teacher taking me aside and saying, "Where did you get Fortress and Solitude from?" I said, "Well, from Superman." I says, "Do you know what it is?" And it's like, "Yeah, this is where Superman has to go because, the burden of being a paragon of virtue weighs down on him." Just kind of looked at me blank and just pointed me back to my table and said,
I want to share that with you.
Yeah, she was like pointing me back to my table and said, "Just keep doing what you're doing. It's okay." But now, like I said, that's our goal with Golden Kid. What we're doing right now is we're doing the books digitally, where people can order them digitally. In fact, you can actually get Flame Number 0 for free. We will send it to you. All you have to do is contact me, and we will send you this comic book for free. Flame Number 1 digitally is only 99 cents, but our game plan is to try to have at least 5 issues of each comic book, and then put them together as a graphic novel that we can sell at conventions, donate to school libraries, any place we think we can get them in the hands of kids.
Yes. Dan, that reminds me. I still need that new cover for Flame Number 1 from Flame 0 from Josh, please.
I will talk to him about that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that.
So, but again, to the audience, just if you guys comment in the chat, if you like about just kind of what your thoughts on the whole state of kids comics, if you guys have like any of your dealings with, have you had any struggles or kind of what you guys experiences with trying to find stuff for your kids. I know like one of the things just that Zoe wants to do is just kind of like she wants to write her own stuff for kids too now. Like she wants to write stuff for kids as well from her own perspective. So that's something. Yeah. She draws like crazy, but now she's trying to get into writing too now.
We need to get her and Josh Hawley's little girl together because she makes her own comics also.
And my daughter as well.
And Anna, yeah. I mean, like we've talked about it before, like getting that whole like young creators thing. We should really get that going.
Yeah.
Anna
so
has
many kids like.
Anna has a thing where so I was taking her to conventions with me, and she wanted to make her own Batgirl comic and sell it. And I was like, that's great, but you can't sell it. And she goes, well, why not? And I said, okay, so let me explain copyright to you. And I explained it to her. And then I gave her a very loose description of fair use, what fell under fair use laws. And then I was like, do you understand? And she was like, no. I was like, okay, you can't sell a Batgirl comic because you don't own that character. But you can make a Batgirl comic for yourself, or you could make your own characters that you own and make your own comics and tell your own stories and then do that. And sell those. Mm-hmm. And she fell in love with it. She's got a whole team. She's written multiple stories, like drawing them all out and everything. Unfortunately, they were drawn on crappy paper, not good paper. So it's got like lines through it and everything. But like she created these characters, and she's 12 now. She is not beyond doing a more mature story. She actually killed one of the characters in her story because it was very impactful. And nice. Like even as an adult, I was like, holy crap. Like it really took me by surprise. Because I didn't see it coming, but like as I read the story, it made sense. Like I should have seen it coming, and I just didn't. Like she has her bad guys are bad guys. They're not, they're not like, oh, you foiled my plans. Like this isn't a kid's game. This is a superhero game. So I think that kids can handle more mature stories sometimes, but for the most part, her stories are very fun.
God, like Zoe, Zoe will write like horror stuff. Have I told you some of the horror stuff she writes? It's fucking terrifying. I'm just like, it's scary stuff. Like she came up with her own like urban legend thing, and I'm like, do I need to take you to like a therapist, kid, or something? Like, good lord.
Oh
it was kind of like, it was good. Like, it's good, and I'm kind of like, it would be like a good little like short story, or like even like a good like little short but it was dark, man. Like, it had like kind of just like it had like suicide and like all this like violence and stuff in it, but it was like this kind of own little like Bloody Mary type thing about it, like this own little urban legend she came up with, and she drew like a little like creepy character for it, and she just drew this drawing of this like creepy like lady, and she kind of invented this whole like whole backstory for it. I was just like, that's amazing, but it's also like kind of freaky. But I was like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like she can come up with some crazy stuff.
Tell her to come see us at Cemetery Plots. We need new stories. So
no. Like seriously.
That's a great idea.
I have the story. Like I wrote it down when she told it to me. I have it written down. I'm like, it would be an amazing story. It's awesome. I'll have to send it to you sometime, Dan, because I think you would absolutely love it.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is another thing we talk about too. It's the idea about what's in a story that's vital for the story, as opposed to what's just gratuitous.
Right.
Like I said, I mean,
and it wasn't gratuitous either. Like it was very much like just like an urban legend thing. It was great. Yeah, like it was well thought out, and it was like that was really cool. Like for a kid, it was like holy crap, awesome. And that it's a good point where not crossing that gratuitous line. A lot of people just kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I know there's a lot of just shock value. Yeah.
They look at something like Watchmen and they think that they've got to up that. They've got to go to the next level with that, not realizing that everything Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons did with that story was vital. Nothing was in there that didn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. It was a violent world. It was a very broken world. It was very broken characters, broken individuals. And that's, unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that there's a difference between that line of, like when I write a script, I say to myself, does this need to be in there? Does it propel the story along, or am I just doing it to be shocking? I know Andy and Jenny have both heard my story about my favorite G-rated movie of all time, right?
I'm pretty certain.
Do tell.
My favorite G-rated movie of all time. It is G-rated. The film has on-screen rear male nudity. There's a scene of characters being shot. You actually see blood in one of the scenes with a character being shot. You have dead people piled up like cordwood. There's a scene where the main character is threatened with castration twice. He's threatened with vivisection at least once. There's a character, one of his best friends, being stuffed and mounted as a trophy, and another one's been lobotomized. And at the very end, and they also slip in VD at the very end. And it is a G-rated movie.
Yes, I remembered this.
I don't remember this. Which movie is this?
That's the thing. I tell people this, and they say, well, what kind of movie is this? And I said, I'm more than likely you have probably seen it. It's the original Planet of the Apes from 1968.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Everything I described is in that movie, but back in the day, the ratings board said none of this was considered gratuitous. Even Charlton Heston was able to get, and I'm not using this as profanity, even Charlton Heston was able to get goddamn in there by saying he's not taking the Lord's name in vain. He's actually asking God, damn humanity for what they did, for engaging in their insanity. Mm-hmm. So everything they were able to get through there was like, they came back and said, okay, this is needed to tell this story. That's what I tell people. Say, look at that and say, that's not gratuitous. Nothing in there is, it's shocking and it's horrifying, but nothing in there is to be taken out and, is going to help the story. It all has to be in there to tell this particular story. Jen, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that that there's a difference between necessary to the story and should be rated G. That's all. At every level, there should be that consideration of what's really necessary to the story. But
well, it's like Watership Down. That frightens some parents when they see some of the stuff that takes place in that story. But still,
yeah, and it depends on the kid too. I mean, I have one. My kids are teenagers now, but one of them is the older one. She's into horror movies, and much to my delight. And the younger one, not so much. Like I don't know if she's seen any, but we just watched It, the most recent version of It, with the older daughter. And I told my younger daughter not to watch it. No, this is not for you, because she's always been really sensitive. So even the stuff that's considered age appropriate was always a little intense for her. Just really sensitive to people being hurt. So it's just, you have to know your kids too. For sure. Because something is for kids doesn't mean it's for your kid. But yeah, the idea of how much do you expose them to, because the world has people hurting, and you need to kind of learn how to navigate that as well. So.
Brian's got a comment. Brian Morris is here. He's got a comment.
Oh, Brian!
Hi,
Brian!
It says, my parents took me to see Planet of the Apes when I was in single digits. I'm turning them into Child Protective Services.
Statute of limitations is probably over on that.
Big shout out to Brian Morris. Brian is
Yes.
been our biggest sponsors forever and a day. And again, I want to repeat, we're going to get to see one of his stories in Cemetery Plots #4, and hopefully we'll be seeing it in future issues as well.
I agree.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
I agree.
Well, my son loved the hot dog story that we did in Lab Rats so much that he has asked Brian and I to do a sequel story, and he was like, "Can you name it Dog Logs?"
That's awesome.
Thank you, Brian.
Love you too, Brian.
Brian, you do this all the time. I'm doing this for you. Thank you, my friend.
Hashtag bring cookie home.
Free cookie.
All right, I just real quick, because we were talking about. Oh wait, Brian's got another comment for you guys, real quick.
That's awesome.
He's already working on some stuff for you guys. Awesome.
Oh, you guys, I gotta go for a minute. I'll come back if I
Okay.
can.
Okay,
All right, yeah, if we're still here, you can use the same link in the chat.
All right, thank you.
Bye, Jenny.
I'll just
Bye,
move
Jen.
myself
Bye,
and
Jen.
leave myself here, then just in case.
Okay.
Just don't talk to me until I let you know I'm back.
All right.
My little picture here will just be supporting you silently. Okay, bye.
Bye. Shaggy, Brian's got a response. For,
Yes, I see
Vincent.
that. That is awesome. I'm committing myself to that artwork.
I gotta do a share screen real quick. I want to share something because Zoe, she discovered. I showed her MS Paint not long ago.
Is this a
And,
fox?
What's that?
Is this the fox?
No, this is something different.
Okay. Whoa, it's like the infinite loop.
Yeah.
Further and further back we go.
So let me. All right, here we go. So this is. Hopefully it'll work right if I got it right. This is her. All right, yeah. This is a weird little comic strip she made. So it's these two people. This guy proclaims that he pooped his pants.
So it's Ender.
Yeah. She looks down. You don't have any pants. And that was her comic strip. I don't know. I was laughing so hard the first time she showed that to me because it was the most unexpected thing. I was just not expecting the final thing to be, you don't have any pants. I was like, what? She just comes up with the most bizarre stuff. I love that kid so much. She's so weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you're raising a Monty Python.
Yeah, like I like because her because like she can't draw as well on MS Paint because she's using a mouse. So she kind of came up with her own little like webcomic style of drawing with the mouse, on MS Paint, and I really liked it. So she's been messing around with it. So like she kind of wants to she kind of wants to do like a little kind of like her own little like webcomic thing like that sometime. Just kind of goofy little things like that sometime. I was like, yeah, go for it, kid. Just if you want to do just stupid little like goofy things like that with whatever you come up with, go for it. She wants to do story. I mean, like she's had these ideas, or she's just like she draws characters all the time. She's got her art page out. Where, I've been trying to keep up on it, where like I'm posting her art here and there, and but yeah, she's when I told her the other day because like when I pulled out her like old story that she wrote, that Princess Zoe story, and I was like, hey, it's been like 3 years since you did this, like we should do like a new one, your art, like you got a new, you've improved your art a lot, you have, you have a defined style now, you're always coming up with stories. Now it'd be a good, you've been working on random characters here and there, and that'd be a good time to like put a good, like an actual story together, a new book together. she just got so excited. She's been kind of thinking up, just throwing out ideas here and there, like just drawing all crazy just here and there. So like she really wants to make something so bad. Um, yeah, she's really excited about the prospect of doing something like that.
We need to do
Um,
like a new talent showcase for Empire Comics Lab, the next generation.
Yeah,
Get
yeah, I
really
think that
get
would be
really
great. Something just kind of yeah, just kind of promoting like a young creators thing would be great, where we could kind of get some like young kids kind of like throwing out, kind of showing people like have them in kind of like a little project they want to do. Because I just see people like on like Facebook and just being like, oh look, this is something my kid did, and I'm just like, good lord, that kid would be so good at like so much
Yeah.
stuff. We're just like, man, there's so many like talented kids out there these days.
Call
It's
it lab
amazing.
assistants.
Lab
What's
assistant.
that?
That's perfect. Yes.
Lab
Call
assistants.
it lab
Yes,
assistants.
that would be great. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
Because like I know that we talked about like tossing around Little Miss ECL when Zoe
Yeah,
and Anna were sitting at the table, but then like when Vincent was kind of hanging out with them, we were like, well, what about ECL Junior or something like that? But lab assistants,
yeah. Because I
that's
think for a long
I like
time we
that
were just
idea.
gonna call it young creators or something like that. Lab assistants is perfect. That is
yeah.
amazing. I love it.
Speaking of which, I have been teaching Anna a little bit of Photoshop so that she can start learning to ink digitally.
Nice.
Last year, I started teaching her to ink with a brush pen, and I gave her my Kiritaku brush pen, and she does really well with it. She doesn't change her line weight and variation a whole lot, but if you talk to a lot of people, neither do I. um, but she's better. Like she took to the brush pen really fast, faster and better than she did with technical pens.
Nice.
But digital, I compared her inks or her digital inks and my digital inks because I was actually letting her ink on one of Alexter's pages for Father's Day, and I showed the same area, cropped to the same area of where she was working and where I was working, and Alexter actually liked her inks better than mine. I was like, dang, I gotta step up my game. I'm being beat by a 12-year-old.
Nice. Yeah. We got a question from the chat here
Go
from
for it.
Brandon
And
Bullock. Hey Jen, welcome back.
thank you.
Brandon's asking if there's a word on Actionthology. I'm guessing if there's
It is.
on Actionthology 2, I'm guessing.
It is in progress. I am inking Father's Day right now. Carol Cookie Morris is coloring that story. Like she's coloring faster than I can ink because I've only got a few hours each night to ink, and she's got more 8-hour days than I have available. So she bangs through stuff faster than I can do. We are as I think we're still looking for a letter on that one. I'm not entirely certain. And then I know Brandon is lettering the pages for. I think Brandon's lettering pages for Cancer Doll that I did the colors for. And then Dragon Treasure is in there. And I believe that is all the stories for Actionthology number 2. So we're getting close. We're getting faster. Obviously, coloring the book has slowed things down a little bit, and I have taken the lion's share of work on this book. just because when we were divvying out stories to people, a lot of people were busy, either working on other books or other commitments for other companies, or their work schedule. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way it ended up going. So it unfortunately slowed some things down a little bit, but it is coming.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks for that update. Brandon, let me know if that answered your question, man. Or if you have any more.
Yes.
I have a question about Actionthology. Do we have another installment of Muzzle? Is that a thing?
A what?
Happening yet?
We do not have another Muzzle story as of yet.
Okay.
I know that we've talked to Eric about it. I was in on part of that conversation.
So not yet.
He was open for it, but I remember like he was saying that he thank you, Brandon. I will get those from Dave. Or Dave. Eric, what was I saying? I don't know the end result, like if a new story is coming or not. I was only there for the beginning part of the conversation. That would be a better update from Dave, who's obviously with his kids at the moment. So
Great. Okay. Thank you.
not a problem. Because I know that people were really digging Muzzle.
Yes.
I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
We need to show this video to Eric. Eric, we need more Muzzle. We need you to do another installment.
Muzzle. She's cool.
Take the muzzle off of Muzzle. Come on, we need this.
Well,
Who let the dog out? Only you, Eric. Only you can let the dog out. Come on, please.
I did have a surprise announcement I was gonna make tonight on the live stream. So I guess maybe tonight might be.
Do we need a drum roll?
Well, do you want to go first? Because we've actually got another surprise announcement too that we don't know if you know about.
Well, yeah, I could go first if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
It's not a huge one. It's real short, but I have been since last week. I would say since this past weekend, have been working on new Cynical Stew strips. Scripts.
Yeah.
I don't know when I will be possibly trying to actually start it up again, but scripts are being worked on.
Do I still hold the record for #1 artist?
I believe so. After that run you did with the cats and the Halloween run, I need to because I know Thomas did a few off. Just he did a few random ones off the side, but I'm pretty sure you still hold the record. I need to count them all up. I know I got to get them all the Thomases together so I can send those to you so you have everything.
Yes, please.
And then I think the only ones also I'm still missing after that is just those 4 from Robert Gant. And then we should have every Cynical Stew. I just need the high res ones from Robert Gant. Beyond that, I have those 1-2 that I showed you guys in the chat. I just like the what was it? The one where he tells his wife that she's not allowed to choose the radio station anymore, and then he goes and I don't know, something he goes and yells at his wife's friend for giving her recipes or something. I don't remember that, but I know there's 2 I for sure can't find, and there's one where he sends Cynical Z to the moon, instead of her room, and she's sitting the last panels her sitting on the moon in a little space suit going, "This sucks." And then there's one where he orders a pizza when she's like, "When did you do that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's when you said you were gonna make meatloaf," or something like that.
Hey.
Yeah, I know there's. Well, it was kind of it was like
Right.
it was semi based off of real events, but it was like my wife was like trying to make something and she like messed it up, so I ordered pizza. But yeah, I didn't order it like when she said she was gonna make it, but
Not the first time.
no, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm just missing those 4. But I'm pretty sure like everything else I have from Thomas. I have some stuff from Rodney, but it's not lettered. But like I was looking at some of the stuff I had from Rodney, and I'm like, I think the panels are out of order. I don't know. I got to go through and figure those out. But yeah. So I think, but yeah, I have been working on some scripts. I don't have like a bunch done, but I've been kind of just going through and trying to figure some stuff out. I'm not entirely sure how I want to restart it up because of where everything left off. So I'm not sure if I want to start off because basically where I think it's actually kind of great because where the whole strip left off, Cynical Stew was gone.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, because
you were running. I'm like,
you were running the
I was running the
Cynical
whole-
Z stories.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? It's almost genius that the whole thing goes on a hiatus when he's missing. Like, it's kind of perfect, you know. Like, I couldn't have done it any better, actually. So, yeah, I'm still kind of just figuring out how I want to possibly bring it back, and I don't know. I'm working on ideas for that, but yeah, it's something I do want to start doing again, and I am working on plans for that.
Yay.
And I'm also pulling up
Awesome.
past revisiting a whole bunch of old scripts too. I pulled up like 2 pages of old Cynical Stew scripts I have. Like I found,
Nice.
I dug up. I was like, oh man, I have a whole bunch of stuff that never got used. So yeah.
Cool.
Dan,
what
what was your
happens.
news?
Well, I was going to let everybody know about the big project we have coming up, the movie tie-in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of the ongoing projects I have been working on for the last few years is working with some producers out in California on a film property called Blood Drive. And no, it's not that crappy thing that was on Sci-Fi Channel. We had nothing to do with that. We had nothing to do whatsoever with that. Blood Drive, the best way to describe it is Dracula meets Fast and the Furious. Drag racing vampires. And I did a script for them, and there's actually a short film. If you want, I can actually send you a link to the short film. People can watch it for free on YouTube. You want to put it down the bottom. But along the way, I told the guys, I said, it would really be good if we did a prequel story, and if we did it as a comic book, and I've got a company I'm involved with. We can actually do that. So, yeah, we're excited about it. Rodney Bennett did the artwork. Kevin Halter is doing the coloring on it right now.
Oh my god.
It looks beautiful. They look fantastic.
So
We'll have it out in time for Halloween. Yes.
I sent Josh some of those images. I don't know if he can pull those up.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd have to give me a minute. I'll work on that. You guys keep talking.
All right. But I'm excited about it because I'm hoping this will help get them motivated to get the film going, or at least do like some more short films or something. So we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited about it. The story is really good. Rodney did a fantastic job on the artwork. Kevin colored it beautifully, and I'm excited about it. I'm just excited that we've actually got a tie-in with a film company that may be actually making a motion picture off of one of my movies or one of my scripts. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that is amazing.
But like I said, we did at least one short film, which is touched on in the comic, and I will go ahead and send that to you so you can see it and check it out. The opening scene is not mine. The closing scene.
Yeah, I'll make sure all those links get in the description.
Awesome.
God, this thing is garbage. Let's see, the blood drive images. Is there a specific one you want me to start with?
I should have sent them in order.
Shaggy or? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it. Give me a second. If I will pull it up. If I got the wrong one, then you guys let me know. But 1 second.
It starts with the
go
car.
Back to share screen. Yeah. All right. It's gonna do that weird infinity thing again, and then. Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Yes, that's it.
All right, everybody should be able to see that. All right, it's kind of blurry, but that's fine. You guys could just need to see the artwork. You don't really need to be able to read this stuff. But yeah, this is kind of like a preview. Then, if you guys want me to kind of cycle through just a little bit,
Yeah.
Sure.
is that
I was going
okay?
to say, this
All right.
it begins with a race with our main character named Christopher.
Oh, looks so
There we go.
good.
Yes.
All right. And then
You
here's the
zoom on
next
down at the
one.
very bottom. Then we have, basically, it's a flashback that shows how the vampires came from Europe to the United States. It shows him as a young child. Actually ended up writing like these 20 commandments for vampires, and I think this is like commandment number 8. Those who cannot hunt for themselves do not survive. And the kids are basically sent out to forage for small animals in the woods. They're not allowed to hunt humans until they're adults.
Okay.
This is Blasco. Blasco is Christopher's father, like the head of the vampires. And I'm trying to remember what I named his brother. I think we ended up going with David for the brother's name. One of the in jokes is all the vampires are named for actors who played vampires. Christopher's named for Christopher Lee. David is named for David Pill, who was in Brides of Dracula. Blasco is actually the real name of Bela Lugosi.
Okay.
We also started out with them
Oh,
having a
sorry.
war between the vampires and werewolves.
Sorry, I'm kind of. Dan, you let me know when you want me to click to the next image. I don't want to go too soon or anything.
Oh, no problem. I was going to say this.
I'm on the
this
next one now.
That's just Christopher discovering humans for the first time during one of their celebrations, one of their festivals.
That's a really. I like that middle panel. Like the top right and then that middle one. Those are really cool together. It's kind of like a really creepy kind of image together. He looks. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like really good imagery. It looks very creepy, like all of it.
I sent Rodney some pictures of the old Universal horror films, The Villages. I said use those for reference.
That's what it makes me think of. It makes me think of kind of it kind of also makes me think of like Hammer a little bit too. Like the Hammer horror films.
Yeah.
Has that feel a little bit too.
The idea is basically Christopher is observing humans for the first time, and he actually ends up watching them until the sun starts coming up, and he has to basically make a mad dash to get into the woods before the sun comes up. And no spoiler, but there's an interesting turn of events with the sun. Anyway, next one is good. This is actually the vampires attacking some of the villagers.
Nice. Yeah, this makes me. Yeah, this has got like okay, like. Yep. My mind is going straight to like Hammer Dracula movies with this, like a lot of the carriages and stuff. There's a lot of scenes like this in those films. Very reminiscent of that. I like it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Like I said, Ronnie did a great job, and the coloring on this is fantastic too. I could not be happier.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. All right.
They're gonna click it.
All right. Where are we at?
This is actually that is some character designs from Steve's upcoming story.
Okay.
The one he's going to be doing. We wanted to do an idea of like this faceless police force, and I told him, I sent him a description of the characters. I said, go with something along the lines of like a Nazi SS uniform, S&M gear, and this is what he came up with.
That looks awesome though. It definitely like has the SS imagery, but like it's really creepy looking too.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is we don't have the characters ever refer to each other by name. They have ranking on their sleeves, and they refer to each other as brother and sister. That's the only way they refer to one another.
Oh, nice.
And cool. Steve actually has hired some models he's actually putting this together. He's actually hired some models for the story. So.
Nice. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes. That's a scene from the story, and then that's D.O. Man right there. He created D.O. Man, but he's going back and learning how to redraw him because it's been 5 years since he drew the original story with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not lost anything at all. He's still got the touch.
Oh yeah. All right. Where are we at here? Which one is this? Is this from the
That
same
is,
horror story, or? No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
actually, that is the sketch you can win if you share our post. Funny Bone from Golden Kid.
That's so
Yeah,
cute.
I'm kind of cycling through all of the images in our messenger thing. So yeah, it's kind of that pulled up. So that's actually what you were talking about earlier
Yep.
at the beginning of the stream.
Original sketch, and like I said, if you share our post, you could be the person that takes it home.
Yep. All right, what comes up next?
Oh, that is page 1 of the special Black Cricket Beetle Girl team up that's coming up in Lucky Comics Beetle Girl number 31. We did a crossover event where our character from Golden Kid, Black Cricket, teams up with Beetle Girl from Empire Comics, Lucky Comics. I'm sorry, Lucky Comics.
All right, yeah.
It's
See
a
Dan
8-page story.
Johnson, Josh Hawley. Yeah.
One of Black Cricket's rogues is a character that calls himself the Techno Bandit. He basically steals technology and equipment to pull off these heists. And he ends up stealing a miniature wormhole generator, allows him to go from one Earth to another Earth. And Black Cricket is basically chased him to Beetle Girl's Earth.
Okay.
But that'll be coming out soon. And if you're a patron, we will actually give this to you for free. If you sign up and support our Patreon at this time, we will actually send that to you gratis. We'll send you a digital copy and a hard copy.
Nice.
I'll even sign it if you want.
All right. I don't know like what all is gonna cycle through on this, so I'll just see what pulls up next.
I was gonna say, if you send me pictures with a monkey and the chaps, take that off, because that's Bobo gets really embarrassed when this picture gets out in public.
Here,
That's
let me
the cover.
see, because I'm trying to. Let me hold on. Let me. I'm gonna stop the screen sharing for a second and make sure I go over here real quick, because it's kind of cycling through. It's not cycling through the way I thought it would. It's like not in order. It's just cycling through like. So I gotta see where I'm at here. Yeah, he said his phone died. Okay, so this is sorry. What I wanted to. I'm losing my own speech here. And then the next thing what I was trying to pull up was a couple things from Actionthology 2. If you guys are okay with sharing that.
I am. That's
Yeah, he put it in the Andy uploaded it, put it in the chat, okay. So I'm assuming he's okay with it. There's 3 images from Father's Day, and then some work in progress shots for Cancer Doll for Actionthology. So let me get back. Oh God, what am I doing? Sorry. I'll get back into screen share mode in a second once I get my bearings. All right. So make sure our audience sees everything we're at. Okay. Alrighty, folks. So this is the Father's Day image that Shaggy was talking about, right? For nice. Actionthology. Am I correct? All right.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of leave Dave to Actionthology, since I'm
this. Yeah, this is the Father's Day, like kind of Father's Day image. Actionthology 2.
Nice.
Don't know the story thing off the top of my head. Trying to make sure I got the images in order here, or if it's gonna start pulling it up all crazy. That is not from the right one.
I was gonna say that's page 2, Blood Job.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. All right. It's getting all weird. All right, here we go. I don't know why it's pulling everything up. You know what? It's going in the other direction. It's weird. I think I got it figured out now. This is another image from Father's Day. This is the one that's not been colored yet. Yeah. So this is the next one.
Nice.
All right. And then here's some work in progress for Cancer Doll from Actionthology 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some images there. There's a couple more. Another one there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that is Arden Belfry's artwork.
I believe you are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Was there besides the Okay, so I got. That's everything we wanted to share image-wise, right?
I think so. Unless Andy sent anything else.
No. He had his actionology. I got that covered, and then I got your. I covered Blood Drive. I had your Funny Bone, the Golden Kids comic, the sketch card, and all that stuff, right? And the team ups. Okay. Is there any other images that you needed? I think I got all the ones that you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, that's everything. I think we're good.
Okay. If you want me to double back, let me know.
No problem. That's good, man.
All right. No, yeah. That's just kind of a sneak peek of a lot of the stuff we had coming up. It's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got. It's pretty amazing. I love all the artwork on the that blood drive stuff is just amazing. That's the coloring was really good too. Like I said, I know you said you sent like some Universal imagery, but like it was really evoking a lot of the Hammer horror films too. Like especially with like the carriages and some of the villages. That's what it was kind of like popped in my head a lot, like really, really immediately. I think it's probably just because of the color too, because like I see those scenes in color, so my mind went to Hammer films instead of the Universal one. But sorry, Brandon's messaging me.
Well, like I said, I was drawing from different actors who've done different horror films for this, and
yeah,
like I said, just looking for
Brandon's
names.
Sent me a finished cancer. Let's see if he wants me to share it. I don't know.
Share it.
I think the audience still wants to share it.
I mean, he sent it to me, so I'm gonna. I mean, it's not gonna show up in good quality anyway, so it's not like everybody's gonna get like a full thing. So he just now messaged to me, so I'm gonna.
Robert Gant is here.
Oh yeah, hey Robert Gant. Hey Rob. All right, so this is I'm going to give you a sneak preview, everybody, of a finished page. It's going to show up blurry because it's just how it is. But this is a sneak preview of a finished page from Cancer Doll for Actionthology 2. Let me get this all figured out. And that's a sneak preview. You guys, I showed you all those images earlier, kind of like little bits and pieces. This is kind of what the whole finished thing is supposed to look like.
Nice.
Yeah. It looks really cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, can't wait.
So that's going to be an awesome book. The first Action Anthology was really, really great. I loved all the. Oh hey, we have our.
Dave.
Hi everybody.
Is here.
I have no sound. Hold on here.
Oh.
No, we hear you, but
yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. How do I sound, all?
We hear you just fine.
Excellent. It is so good to see you all. So sorry I'm so late.
No, you're fine, man. Our fearless leader's here, everybody. So welcome, Dave.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. Dan, good to see you. Josh, good to see you. Jen, good to almost see you. But I'm glad you're around. Hey, there you are. Hi. Look at you outside.
Yep, that's it.
I told her she needs to be on screen to take away from us. So guys are watching her.
Everybody.
Right. Yeah.
I got pandemic level grooming going on over here. I do not feel ready for the camera.
Yeah, my quad is suffering a bit as well.
Yeah.
Andy's phone died, so he's not. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
My computer's about to die. I can see it now.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think we kind of went over everything, Dave. Like what's all in the works.
Yeah, we've been discussing a lot of kind of. We talked about what all we talked about, Dan. We talked about cemetery plots. We talked about Actionthology. Shared some artwork and stuff.
Blood Drive.
Blood Drive. We were showing some images and stuff from that. What's that?
Golden
Oh
Kid.
yeah, Golden Kid.
Golden Kid, yeah.
Yeah. So I shared some of the like kind of sneak peek images that Dan had for Blood Drive. He walked everybody through that. I showed some of the sneak peek images that Shaggy had for Actionthology from Father's Day and
Cancer Doll.
Cancer Doll.
Cancer Doll.
Brandon gave me, he just shot me like a completed full page, so I was able to give everybody a preview of that for Cancer Doll.
Wonderful.
And
we heard from Brian Morris.
Oh yeah, Brian Morris showed up too.
Oh wow, that's great.
He was here, so
thanks, Brian. Appreciate
I don't know if he's here still or not, but yeah, he was able to hop in earlier. Yeah, we had Brandon in here, Rob Ganson here right now.
Oh, great! Hi, Rob.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a stream. Yeah,
that's
been
wonderful.
Crazy.
Rob doing
Andy's taco.
What's that?
Yeah, Andy was eating a taco. Earlier I was talking, actually, you might have missed it, where I actually was mentioned that I have, since this past weekend, like literally just the past few days, have recently been working on writing new Cynical Stew strips.
Yes.
Like, I don't know where I'm getting with it, when I'm going to like actually be able to start with artists and stuff, but I want to start getting back to that again. So.
Oh, that's music to my ears and wonderful. You are under no deadline for that, so whenever it's within your power to do so, but I'm delighted that you're able to do that.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it a lot. Going through all those strips and everything, when I was trying to email all you guys all that stuff, I was like, man, do I miss doing that. And
don't you?
Plus, when I was doing that, I like dug up like 2 pages worth of old scripts that like I hadn't done anything with. And I was just like, I was reading through them and I was like, oh, yeah, I got to use these sometimes. They're so good. There's so much good stuff that I can get used.
Well, they were great scripts, great strips. I loved them. So I'm very happy to see it come back. Oh, hi.
That's Brandon.
Bullock Boys. Hi, Brandon. Oh,
he's on his
fantastic job. Brandon is one of our letterers. Yes. I say one of, but he's like the letterer. Right? And what an amazing job he always does. We're so happy to have him here. So thank you. I'm glad you're here for the show.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, it's been an amazing stream. I'm really glad you were able to show up, Dave. At least because I'm not sure how much longer we're going to go on for. But
we don't have to stay on for me. I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you were able to come on at all, because like just to be able to say hi to everybody, because it's like, I mean. We kind of like, we didn't just specifically talk ECL, like we were kind of veering off on just different topics here and there.
Sure.
But it was, we had a really good conversation and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. But
I'll go back and watch it after we're done. So that's fantastic. And everyone has their hands in so many different pies. It's great that we can promote, not just for us, for ECL, but we're a collective that all of us do other things. And we're here to support all of us in all of our various projects, whether it has anything to do with ECL or not.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be out there.
One of the things we were talking, because we had a pretty hefty conversation, Dan, when Dan was talking about the Golden Kid, it kind of sparked a pretty hefty conversation about kids comics and how there's kind of a lack of it out there.
Sure.
And that kind of led into we were talking about just kids in general, because we talked about my daughter, Shaggy's daughter, and then who else were we talking about? Dan, was it somebody else's kid? Was it Josh?
Josh Hawley's
daughter.
College too, yes.
Yeah. So we were talking about some of the other like kids out there that have been working on stuff. So because I know we talked in the past about like some kind of a young creators thing. So
would love
Andy
to do
came up with the perfect name, Lab Assistants.
Andy came up, Lab Assistants. Yeah.
Well done.
That's something we can talk about more, obviously, but because like my daughter's been itching to do something.
Well, we'll put her to work, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I've already said she's got a story for cemetery plots. I've already said she's got to come work for me first.
Oh yeah, I gotta. I'll share this because I was telling them, like she came, like I gotta dig up the picture. But she made this like creepy picture of this like girl, and then she came up with her own little like kind of urban legend like backstory for it. I'm just like, yeah, kid, I need to send you to therapy after that one. Like, I don't know where you're coming up with this stuff.
Good.
No, first let her work with Dan before the therapy.
What's that? Oh yeah, let her work with Dan before the therapy. Yeah, I'll get all the good material out of her before I fix her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, no, I'm a firm believer. Kids can see weird stuff that we don't sometimes.
Because I joke because like I don't think there's it's just like that's one of the things I'm really proud about Zoe is she's so good at separating reality from fantasy because she watches kind of movies and stuff and like I don't ever really have to because what was it like Jen was talking like when we were talking earlier about kind of being able to like see movies and stuff like that where like it it's kind of dependent on the kid of like whether they're able to like see kind of a specific movie if they're able to handle that like certain movies of a certain age range. Like I take Zoe to PG-13 movies all the time.
Sure.
She saw Ghostbusters when she was like 5 and she loved it. Like she thought it was the best thing ever. I took her to see what was it? That Godzilla or not Godzilla. Well, she saw like Godzilla like the not this most recent one, but like the other like the first American like not the 98 one like was it 2014 or something like that? Like the American one.
One with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, she saw that when it came out. That was that's 6 years ago. So yeah, she was like 4 when she watched that and thought it was cool. Like
some kids can handle that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My kids are fine. My oldest is fine with it. My youngest gets a little creeped out, so we monitor him a little more closely.
She went to the theater with me to see Skull Island. Like she was so into it. She's sitting there the whole time, like she just loved it, loving it. She thought it was
my
the coolest
kids
thing.
couldn't make it past the first 6 minutes of Skull Island. It wasn't the monster; it was the fight between the two guys. Oh, they couldn't take it, man. They're just like, turn it off, turn it off. So
Zoe was in the.
Yeah. Brie Larson scares the hell out of me. I'm sorry.
You're right.
Zoe's in the theater. She wasn't phased by that part, but like when Kong's hands come up, she's like, yes. Like she was just so excited.
That's fantastic.
She was loving it. She's more of a Kong fan than she's a Godzilla fan. She watched the original King Kong with me. Yeah,
good man.
like
good man.
Old school black and white.
Right
King
on.
Kong. Yeah.
I introduced my kids to that one early too. It's a classic and a wonderful movie and creepy. I mean, for the time, holy crap.
She was she kind of she was a little antsy, a little bored here and there during some of the talking parts, but man, that rampage scene, she was all for it. She loved that so much.
Once they get to the island in that movie does not stop. It's one right after another until it's over. Yep. It's a good movie.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I was gonna say, if you get to the part where they're filming the natives and they got that wonderful Max Steiner score, the whole Kong.
Yes.
So good.
It is a roller coaster ride from that point on, and I applaud you guys. Actually, that was my birthday movie. Before everything got locked down, I got a chance to sit on the big screen. That is my all-time favorite movie.
Wow. I've never seen it on the big screen. I would love to.
I would love to. That would be amazing.
Wonderful.
Well, great.
Some of the I had the chance to see The Shining and I got to see that. The only thing that sucked about that was there was these like 2 middle-aged ladies behind me that kept talking throughout it, and I was just like, oh, so freaking mad.
I saw that movie way too young. It was on the precursor to HBO in my hometown was called Cineview, and it came on. It was cable, and it came on at 7:00 at night and would run until 2 a.m, and then it would just be dead air after that. But they would show movies like The Spy Who Loved Me, and they had The Shining on there. And I watched that with my mom at maybe 10 years old, 11.
Wow.
Ruined me. Ruined me.
Yeah. See, there's specific things where I'm just kind of like, there's a lot of stuff I'll let my daughter watch, but then I'm like, there's going to be a certain line there. Like, I'm going to make sure I don't mess up her head too much.
Well, hopefully we can. I know Dan's working real hard with it with Josh, with Golden Kid.
Oh yeah.
Josh is doing tremendous. Josh Hawley, not.
I knew who you're talking about. Yeah, Josh Hawley does amazing work.
He's doing some incredible work with the public domain characters, and we're so happy to have him on our website. Page 3 or 4 of the Futura Reimagine is now on our website, EmpireComicsLab.com. You can take a look at that. That'll be completed in a couple of weeks, and then Josh has more things in the works, and all of which are kid-friendly, but still fun and doesn't talk down to kids. I'm a big believer in not doing that. Kids can handle so much more than we think they can.
Yeah, we had a big conversation about that. You're exactly right.
Well, back in the day when we were all buying comics off the newsstand, the comics code was in place. Of course, at that time in the 70s and in the 80s, it was a little more relaxed than it was. But those comics were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And they push boundaries where they can, but they concentrate on telling a good story. And kids catch on to that. And that's what I hope we can capture with ECL. In Cemetery Plots is kind of our PG-13 book. Yeah. But Actionthology, we're hoping Actionthology will appeal to a younger crowd as well. I hope so. We'll see. The new Cancer Doll, the script is done. Arden Belfry is penciling again, and he sent me thumbnails. That's on its way for Actionthology 2. We've got a lot of good stuff in the works.
Digging out, also with some of my Cynical Stew stuff, I'm trying to dig out some of the board I have for like the Punch Face Lullabies.
Right.
Where I'm trying to get, should have scripts kind of figured out. I need to like reassess everything with that, but if everything's where it should be, I probably want to run like some of the scripts past like Jen to kind of just have like another editor's eyes on it. But just you know, like if we get everything looks good, then possibly see about looking at artists and stuff like that to see where we can go with that. Because where I was at last time, I had enough to fill a whole book, script wise. I mean, I had more than enough. I had to like cut a ton of stuff out, to be honest. When I was asking people, I was like, "Hey, do you guys have anything like comedy stuff that you've had nowhere to put?" And people were like, one person was like, "Yeah, I have like a year's worth of webcomic stuff I've had nothing to do with." And I was like, okay.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, that's kind of what it intended the whole thing to be, is like if you just got random comedy stuff that you had nowhere to put, that's where what I wanted to do with it. So,
well, it's hard to find artists, obviously.
It is very hard, and
especially with what we're doing, which are anthology books. It would be different if it was a book. Say, Josh, you're doing Cynical Stew, and you're writing and you're drawing. You can get it done and get it there,
but I don't draw. I don't draw as a thing.
So we try to find artists, and it's hard to find artists. Well, let me put it this way: you can always find artists, but finding artists that can finish projects is a challenge. Yes. And that's not to denigrate anybody. And believe me, I am one of them. Trust me. But finding somebody that can finish is a difficult prospect. If you're watching and you're an artist who is trying to get into comics or thinking about getting into comics, maybe you've been drawing for a long time, you don't have a lot of sequentials, but are willing to learn or looking for a first place to ply your craft, that is absolutely what Empire Comics Lab is all about. It's what we were founded on. Bill Nichols, back in the day, back in, what was it, 2013, 2012?
2012, I think, yeah.
2012. Sort of put out a call for, he described it to me as some seasoned professionals and people who aren't doing comics but should be. And ask for those people to come together, and ECL is what came out of it. Mm-hmm. And I think the idea of finding new people who need a place to hone their craft, I think that's what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a first stop, and hopefully for them on to bigger paying things, bigger companies. But for us, man, I like working with new people. I like new people, a place to be, and a family to come to.
Real quick, Jen's computer's about to die.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well,
Sorry,
we can wrap this.
Well, I think if we can keep going, I think she wanted to say goodbye real quick.
Yeah, keep going. I'll watch it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bye guys.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
I wanted to give her a chance to say goodbye. She had messaged us. I was like, oh, I'll give her a chance to say goodbye before her computer
absolutely.
dies.
Product placement.
But yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, like, that's kind of one of the things, like, I was doing Cynical Stew on my own. I'm like, when I started Cynical Stew, because, I can't draw, but there's no way I was going to be able to find an artist to commit full-time to a comic strip. So, sorry, you're going to have to hear
the number of artists you were able to line up for Cynical Stew is staggering.
Yeah, and that's what was fun about it. It was just kind of doing, like, going to a bunch of artists. But then, like, I talked to Shaggy about it. Like, he was like, he convinced me to kind of come into ECL. And once I did that, like, it really opened up, like, the amount of people that were just, like, because it was just kind of, it just throw out, like, a script. People were like, yeah, I can knock one out real quick. Like, just a 3-panel thing. Like,
right.
It was great. And people, I mean, I would be so... I'd always want people to have fun with it, so I'd always try to be, like, really non-restrictive with the scripts, like, because the whole, like, smiley hat thing, how it would change, the hat, the smiley face on the hat would change expressions from panel to panel, but I would never tell the artist what expression it had to be, just that it did, so it was always up to them what expression it would be, so I'd always want them to have fun with it. I would give them free reign to, like, plug their own stuff, like their own. Like, they had their own comic strips. Like, I know George Gant had his. At the time, he was doing a comic strip, like, On the Grind. So when he did a comic strip for me, On the Grind, it was like a comic strip about, like, a coffee shop.
That's right. I remember that.
So when he did one comic strip for me, where Stu is in an office with his coworker, and they're drinking coffee, and on one of the coffee mugs is on the Grind logo. Yeah,
right.
It was just like, it was neat little stuff like that. I always like that kind of stuff. And then there was between, like, the Veteran Life was, like, another comic strip I did, but and Shaggy and Thomas Barnett, who's done a lot of the stuff too, but they were putting each other and, like, the comic strips they were doing for me, and like. Just, like, kind of like, it was just like, if you, like, read the Cynical Stew and, like, some of the Veteran Life one, there was, like, all these, like, little Easter eggs for people to find. It was really neat. I like just letting the artists have fun with it and do, like, just put their own little stuff in there. Like, I was kind of really easygoing with a lot of this stuff.
Well, like, it turns the comic strip into a community.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, like, one of the like, it's thank God I don't actually need the cane anymore. Like, the part of the whole reason I started writing the strip was kind of that cope with the fact that, like, at the time I was, like, in my early 30s and I needed to use a cane to walk, and that sucked. It was hard, and but I'm like 3 years now without having to use it thanks to, like, some surgery, but it still seems crazy to me that it's been that long. But
it doesn't seem like it's been that long at all.
It seems so long to me now. Like, part of it seems like it's been so long, but not that long at all. It's really weird. Yeah. There's times where I go to stand up and I go to reach for the cane. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not there anymore. Like, it's weird. But one of the most fun things, though, is when I was doing the Cynical Stew thing, is when I had, like, the whole. I needed a new cane, so I, like, uploaded a bunch of, like, different images and
and we all voted on them.
Everybody, and that's how I ended up with the dragon one I had. Yeah, everybody voted on it, and I ended up buying that one. And that was
I remember that.
Yeah, that was my regular cane for like up until I ended up not needing one. That's the cane I used. Yeah, it was an awesome cane too. I think it was heavy, but like,
it looked like it was heavy.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. Like, I mean, like, that's the kind of stuff I miss with that. I mean, like, like, I don't need the cane anymore, but, like, I do kind of miss that kind of just fun having, with.
Well, whenever you're prepared and ready, we'll line people up for you. I'm so happy, Rob. I know you said Rob was watching a while ago. Rob Gant. Rob, and she probably already mentioned this, but Rob is going to be working with Dan on new discount wands and spells, and I am thrilled about it. Beyond thrilled about it. It's It ran as a weekly for quite a while. Yeah. And is just an absolutely beautiful script. Yeah. It'll be coming back to ECL. After the crash, I lost it, but I have all of Rob's files now. Mm-hmm. Soon, I'll be putting the entire first run for free on the website. And I urge you, when that happens, take a look. What a charming, wonderful script it is. And with Dan writing, I think we're really looking at something special with it.
Yeah, because when he was doing it, when he was doing discount, like he was before he stopped, he was gonna have me do guest write one of the strips sometime, and I didn't ever got the chance to do it. I would love to guest write one of the strips sometime.
You should absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's the kind of script that's open for it. It's a beautiful world.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to seeing it fleshed out.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was a really great strip. It was so much fun to read. It was like a really kind of it was like a real kind of nerdy type strip, and it was a lot of fun to read. I always enjoyed it.
And 6 Degrees of Separation, Rob Gant worked on a comic called Tales of Awesome with our friends, I think Danny Cooper, who Shaggy is now working with at Freestyle Comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so comics, I'm telling you, comics are a very small community.
Oh, yeah, it's a small world.
It is a very small world, and we all sort of trade talent and ideas back and forth, and I just love it. We've got great friends at Indelible. They put out a fantastic comic book, and we're always glad to kind of trade back and forth there, so it's a good time. It's a good time. I love all these people.
Yeah, that's Rob there. Yeah, that happened. I mean, dude, that's exactly what with Cynical Stew. What ended up stopping Cynical Stew for me was the surgery that ended up making me not have a cane anymore. That kind of grinded my whole life to a stop. Everything in my whole life came to a stop. I wasn't doing anything for a long time. I had a whole year of just nothing but recovery. And then since then, it's just been I've had all kinds of just everything out of whack. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're bouncing back, man. It sounds like you are.
Yeah, I've I've been doing a lot of kind of I've been doing my political commentary stuff, but this I seeing some of the I've been catching up on everything going on, and I'm getting kind of motivated. My laptop's been busted for forever, but I got a new one coming in the mail, so I'm hoping that'll help get me into actually being able to write a lot more. So that'll be nice. I won't have to keep stealing my wife's.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, gentlemen, this has been great. I'm going to go. I still have to feed my kids.
Yeah, and my daughter's wants to play The Sims on the computer. So.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
Josh, also, I can't thank you enough for setting all this up, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Yeah, I would love maybe every other week or so if we can do this on the YouTube channel, and then get some other guests from the comic community in, anybody else from Empire Comics Lab that wants to hop on, just to have kind of just conversations like this, talking about comics and stuff like that. Because it's just it's a lot of fun just getting to sit back and have these kinds of conversations. I always enjoy them.
Well, thank you. I did too. This was a good time. Dan, it was
great time.
You. Josh, awesome to see you.
Yep, awesome. All right. Well, we'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you all.
Yep. Good night.
Bye.